I'm Fahlin Anderson. I'm going to be going over the 4 interview questions that I developed and then answering them. The first one is my scenario question, and it says, as you review your school's reading test scores, you realize they're significantly lower than the norm. Your teachers voice that they are working hard to raise scores, but are not having the impact they desire. When you visit classrooms, you see that teachers are indeed working hard. However, you do not see evidence of the effective teaching strategies that will meet students' needs. You also do not see the new district's new literacy initiative being implemented in your teachers' classrooms. As the new principal, how will you address this issue? So, as the instructional leader, your job is to ensure that students are getting what they need and also that teachers are getting what they need. So, although teachers are working hard in this instance, it seems that they're lacking in developing plans that really support students' individual levels. So the first thing is ensuring, number one, that the district's literacy initiative is being pushed and that it is being used by all teachers. So that needs to be something that is developed with your faculty, your teachers. So sitting down with them as the principal and going through a list, an outline, what does this initiative look like in the classroom? This is what the district expects of us. So what does that look like when we take it and put it into our classrooms? How does that transfer to meeting the needs of every student in the classroom? And just really sitting down with teachers and developing what that initiative should look like. When you do that, just going through and developing a list of what must we have in the classroom. These are the things that we're looking for when we come in. And not only will that give you a guide, but it will give your teachers a guide as to what they need to do to improve. And hopefully when they're with you developing that list, since they have a voice, then they will have buy-in as well. So that's the first step. And the second step would be, after you've developed that and teachers already know kind of what's expected, what you need from them, just getting into classrooms and ensuring that that is happening. Finding those exemplar teachers, I think, is another key element to this. So your teachers that are really meeting this literacy initiative, and they're using effective teacher strategies and using them as a guide and an example for maybe teachers who need a little more support in that area. So getting them in there and trying to get them to observe. I think if you can focus on those 2 things, developing an outline and buy-in from all the teachers, and then giving support to extra teachers who need it, I think that will really help sustain the literacy initiative in the district and raise test scores. Question number 2 that I have is, what professional qualities do you feel are important and would you encourage in your staff? So I feel like in education there's many qualities that are important. However, I feel like some that stick out to me are integrity. I feel like integrity is very important when you're working with students and with your staff, because we always want staff to be honest, to be true, and we want them to be able to be transparent with one another so that we can address problems and concerns and work through things together in a professional way. Another quality that I feel like is really important is growth, because as you know, in education, everything's changing. There's always new initiatives, and we're always wanting to get better every day. We should be for our students. So I feel like growth is something that I would want to encourage in my staff. And I can, as a leader, that means that I'm always looking for growth opportunities and ways to grow as well. So to encourage these, I feel it's obviously, as a leader, it's important to model these. So by being open, transparent with your staff, and modeling growth. The last quality that I really picked that I feel like is important is service. And I think that's important because as a school, you want your culture to be strong, and serving one another, being there for one another, helping one another, your staff. I feel like that's very important to the success of a school, because you're there to serve your students, but you're also there to serve one another. Question number 3 says, how would you help build efficacy in an inexperienced teacher? I feel to build efficacy in an inexperienced teacher means helping them feel empowered. So how do you do that? I feel like there's lots of ways that you can do that. Number one, giving them the tools that they need to be successful. They need tools in their hands. They need curriculum. They need to feel supported. So not just through curriculum and resources and those types of things, but through your support as an administrator. If they feel that they have your support, that they have the support of their colleagues, then they're going to be more likely to feel empowered in the school. So I feel like that's the first step. However, you might still have teachers who still, with all that support, still don't have a lot of efficacy and still don't quite feel like they're getting where they need to be. So when that happens, I feel like that's when you try to help them, give them a mentor, give them an experienced teacher that they can work with, that they can go in and observe, that they can learn from, because it's very important to have that efficacy and to feel like I can move students forward. So if I have tools in my hands, if I have resources, if I have support, and if I have someone who can help me when I feel like I'm struggling in an area, then I feel like I am going to have a stronger sense of efficacy and know that I can grow kids and help kids and sustain kids. The last question that I had was, how do you view your role as a principal in school-based decision making? So, although you are the leader of your school, that means having, as a leader, you should have a shared sense of vision. So, developing that vision with your staff. What are we about at our school? What are we trying to do here? What are the things that we really value, and how are we going to get there? So developing that vision and that mission with your staff, I feel like, is important when you're sharing that decision making. I feel like your role in school-based decision making also means finding ways to facilitate leading and encourage growth in the staff at your school, so that you aren't always taking the lead on everything. It's finding those people in your building who can be developed into leaders and helping them so that everyone feels like they have a voice. So that might mean developing committees for certain things, having some of your leaders like oversee those things. As a leader, I think it's important to have a leadership team that helps you make big decisions in the school, so that it's not just you looking at everything and making decisions by yourself, because it's all part of being on a team, and everyone in the school feels more valued and empowered when they have a voice and a say-so. So your role as a principal is to facilitate these things, to empower people in your building, to build up leaders in your building, so that everybody has a voice, and so that everybody feels like they're a part of something, and so that your culture is strong. Those are my 4 questions and answers. Thank you.